When we think about building muscle, most people imagine hours spent at the gym or protein powders stacked on kitchen counters. But the truth is, your body's ability to build and preserve muscle isn't just controlled by how much you lift or how much protein you eat. It's driven by your body's health defense systems. And one of the most powerful ways to activate these defenses is through the food you eat. Now, bone broth has been hyped as a miracle for muscles and joints, but new research shows there's something even better. Something that doesn't just maintain your muscle, but actually signals your stem cells to regenerate new muscle fibers and reverse the effects of sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. This food works at a cellular level. It turns on the same pathways that elite athletes activate during recovery. The molecular switches that repair tears in muscle tissue and promote the growth of new, strong fibers. Think of it as feeding your muscles from the inside out. When you consume the right foods, you're not just fueling your body, you're giving it the information it needs to grow, renew, and protect itself. Your muscles are living organs. They respond to signals. And certain bioactive compounds in natural foods, such as omega-3s, polyphenols, and specific amino acids, act like keys that unlock your body's regenerative code. For example, studies now show that plant-based proteins from lentils, soy, and peas can activate the mTOR pathway, the same biological trigger that stimulates muscle growth during exercise. Meanwhile, foods rich in nitrates, like beets and spinach, increase blood flow to muscles, delivering more oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. This enhanced circulation not only improves performance, but also prevents the fatigue and weakness associated with sarcopenia. These are real, measurable effects happening inside your body every time you make the right food choice. Another secret lies in foods that stimulate angiogenesis, the growth of new blood vessels. As we age, our circulation naturally declines, and that limits the supply of oxygen to our muscles. But when you eat foods that promote healthy blood vessel growth, like tomatoes, green tea, and certain fruits, you're literally reawakening your body's ability to nourish and repair its muscles. You're improving not only the strength of your body, but also its resilience, endurance, and longevity. So, when I say, forget bone broth, what I mean is, don't rely on old myths. Muscle health isn't about one superfood or one nutrient. It's about activating your body's internal healing and growth systems through foods that send the right biological signals. The future of muscle building isn't in the gym or the supplement store. It's on your plate, and it's already within your control. Imagine if every meal you ate could act like a switch, turning on the exact biological pathways your body needs to rebuild strength, repair damaged tissue, and reignite your youthful power. That's not a fantasy. That's the new science of muscle health. And this science reveals something revolutionary. Muscle loss with age isn't inevitable. It's a signal that your metabolism and immune system have fallen out of sync. When we restore that balance through specific foods, the body doesn't just stop losing muscle, it starts creating it again. Our metabolism is like a conductor of an orchestra. It coordinates how nutrients are absorbed, how energy is distributed, and how cells decide whether to grow or break down. When inflammation enters the picture, that harmony is destroyed. Low-level inflammation, what scientists call inflammaging, silently eats away at your muscle tissue and disrupts the body's natural rhythm of repair. But certain foods have been shown to silence those inflammatory genes, almost like tuning the orchestra back into perfect harmony. For instance, when you drizzle extra virgin olive oil on your salad, sip green tea, or add turmeric to your meal, you're doing more than enjoying flavor. You're switching off the biological triggers that cause muscle deterioration. These foods send molecular messages that tell your body, it's time to regenerate. Omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, flax seeds, and walnuts amplify this process even further. They not only reduce inflammation, but also awaken your muscle stem cells, the satellite cells responsible for repairing and rebuilding fibers that keep your body strong. It's as if your muscles suddenly remember how to be young again. But regeneration is only half the story. The other half lies deep within your cells. Inside the mitochondria, the engines that power every muscle contraction. Foods rich in polyphenols, such as dark chocolate, pomegranate, and green tea, act like rocket fuel for these engines. They help your muscles use energy more efficiently, fight fatigue, and accelerate recovery after exercise. You're not just maintaining muscle, you're optimizing performance at a cellular level. Now here's a fascinating twist. Your gut also plays a starring role in this symphony of strength. A balanced microbiome releases short-chain fatty acids that lower inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and enhance nutrient delivery to muscle cells. When your gut thrives, your muscles thrive. When it falters, even the best workout plan can fall flat. So the question isn't, how do I stop aging? The real question is, how do I feed my body so it chooses growth over decline? The answer is in your choices, on your plate, every day. Because every time you eat foods that calm inflammation, energize your cells, and nourish your microbiome, you're not just eating, you're rebuilding your future strength one bite at a time. Every muscle in your body is a living organ of renewal. It has the power to repair itself, to adapt, to grow stronger, if you give it the right signals. And one of the most powerful signals your body responds to is blood flow. Blood is not just a carrier of oxygen and nutrients, it's the lifeline that determines how fast your muscles recover, how much they grow, and how effectively they fight sarcopenia. But as we age, our capillaries, those tiny vessels that deliver nourishment to our tissues, start to shrink and become less efficient. That's why older adults often experience fatigue, slower healing, and muscle loss. Yet, here's the good news: nature gives us foods that can rebuild and reawaken those blood vessels, reigniting muscle vitality from the inside out. This process is called angiogenesis, and it's at the very core of my research. Angiogenesis is how your body grows new blood vessels when they're needed and prunes away the ones that aren't. When it's in balance, your tissues thrive. When it's out of balance, your muscles starve. But you can restore that balance naturally. Certain foods, like tomatoes, green tea, berries, citrus, and even dark chocolate, are scientifically proven to activate angiogenesis. They signal your body to build new microvessels that feed muscle cells, supplying a continuous flow of oxygen and nutrients. Imagine that food literally teaching your body how to grow new blood vessels to nourish your strength. Think of a tomato, for example. Inside its red pigment, lycopene works like a biological engineer, stimulating blood vessel growth where your body needs it most. Green tea, on the other hand, contains catechins that fine-tune this process, making sure new vessels are healthy, flexible, and efficient. When you combine these foods over time, your entire vascular system becomes younger, more responsive, and better able to deliver energy right where it's needed, into your muscles. But angiogenesis doesn't just support growth, it also helps prevent decline. When your blood vessels function optimally, they prevent inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the biggest drivers of muscle loss. Better blood flow means faster recovery after exercise, less soreness, and more endurance. You begin to notice that everyday movements, climbing stairs, lifting groceries, or going for a walk, feel lighter, smoother, more natural. That's not coincidence. That's biology responding to nourishment. So, when we talk about fighting sarcopenia, we're really talking about giving your body the tools it needs to renew itself. Angiogenesis is one of those tools, a built-in healing system that responds directly to the foods you eat. Every sip of green tea, every handful of berries, every slice of tomato is more than just food. It's a biological command, a signal to your body to rebuild. And that's the real secret. The power to reverse muscle decline isn't locked in a supplement bottle. It's already alive in the foods that nature designed to heal you. What if I told you that your muscles have their own built-in pharmacy? A natural system that releases powerful healing molecules every time you nourish it the right way. This isn't science fiction, this is human biology at its finest. Inside your muscles are silent guardians called stem cells, your body's regenerative army. They wait patiently, ready to repair, rebuild, and rejuvenate muscle fibers whenever they're damaged or worn down. But here's the secret: those cells don't just respond to exercise. They respond to food. The right foods can awaken your dormant stem cells, activating a cascade of repair that fights sarcopenia from its root. Stem cells are like nature's architects. When you injure a muscle, they rush in to replace damaged fibers with new, stronger ones. Yet as we age, these cells become sluggish, almost as if they're asleep. That's why healing takes longer, strength fades faster, and recovery becomes more difficult. But here's where the new science changes everything. Research now shows that certain bioactive compounds found in everyday foods can wake up these stem cells and put them back to work. For example, sulforaphane, a compound found in broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables, has been shown to activate regenerative genes inside muscle tissue. It tells stem cells, repair mode, on. Meanwhile, foods like blueberries, walnuts, and pomegranate contain molecules that protect these cells from oxidative stress, keeping them alive and active longer. When these nutrients work together, they don't just slow muscle aging, they reverse it. It's like upgrading your body's internal repair system with every bite. And let's not forget the role of protein synergy. Not just any protein, but proteins paired with fat nutrients and antioxidants. For example, combining plant-based protein with spinach or avocado provides not just amino acids, but also vitamins and compounds that help stem cells use that protein more efficiently. It's not about how much protein you eat, it's about how smartly your body can use it to regenerate tissue. That's what real metabolic intelligence looks like. Here's something extraordinary. When you eat foods that activate your regenerative stem cells, your body starts behaving as if it's decades younger. Your muscles respond faster to exercise, your energy increases. Even your metabolism becomes more flexible, switching between fat and glucose seamlessly. This is how you build not just muscle mass, but youthful muscle. Stronger, more adaptive, and resistant to decline. So when people ask, what's the best supplement for muscle health? I say, your best supplement is real food. Because nature already designed the perfect formula for regeneration. It's in the crunch of broccoli, the sweetness of blueberries, the richness of walnuts, and the vibrant red of pomegranates. Every bite is a signal, a message to your stem cells that says grow, repair, rebuild. That's how you don't just fight sarcopenia. You outsmart it. Let's talk about something most people overlook. Fat and muscle are not enemies. In fact, your body's ability to burn fat directly influences how efficiently it builds muscle. The problem is that as we age, our metabolic flexibility, our ability to switch between burning fat and glucose, begins to break down. This is when stubborn fat builds up, energy drops, and muscles begin to shrink. But here's the exciting truth: you can retrain your metabolism with food. Certain foods can reprogram your body to burn fat for energy, reduce inflammation, and simultaneously protect your muscle fibers from breakdown. This is the secret link between fat metabolism and muscle regeneration, and it's completely within your control. When your body becomes metabolically flexible again, it stops storing fat as waste and starts using it as clean, sustained fuel. Foods like avocados, almonds, salmon, flax seeds, and dark leafy greens contain healthy fats and polyphenols that activate a group of proteins called AMPK, your body's metabolic master switch. When AMPK is turned on, your cells become more efficient at producing energy, repairing themselves, and clearing away damaged components that slow down muscle recovery. This is like upgrading your muscle's energy engine from a dusty, old motor to a high-performance system. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. Healthy fat metabolism protects your mitochondria, the powerhouses inside your muscle cells. When mitochondria are strong, they produce clean energy, reduce oxidative stress, and improve endurance. But when they're weak, your body shifts toward muscle loss and fatigue. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids and polyphenols, such as olive oil, walnuts, and green tea, act as mitochondrial protectors, allowing your muscles to stay energized even during aging. This means that by simply eating smarter fats, you're not just trimming your waistline, you're powering your muscles at a cellular level. There's also a powerful hormonal effect here. A balanced metabolism keeps insulin levels stable and reduces spikes in blood sugar that lead to fat gain and inflammation. When your insulin sensitivity improves, your muscles absorb nutrients more effectively and stay in an anabolic, or growth, state longer. That's the difference between simply maintaining muscle and actually rebuilding it. Every time you eat a meal rich in healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants, you're not only fueling your body, you're resetting its metabolic clock. This is why real, whole foods outperform supplements and fad diets. You're not forcing your body to change, you're teaching it how to remember its natural rhythm. A rhythm where fat becomes energy, energy becomes strength, and strength becomes longevity. This is the kind of muscle health that endures, powered by biology, not by marketing. So if you truly want to kill sarcopenia, stop fearing fat and start mastering it. The right fats don't slow you down. They ignite your body's inner engine. Because muscle isn't built in the gym alone. It's built in the mitochondria, meal by meal, cell by cell, bite by bite. There comes a moment in everyone's life when we realize that aging doesn't just happen in years. It happens in our choices. Every meal, every bite, every habit is either accelerating decline or activating renewal. Sarcopenia, the silent thief of strength, doesn't strike overnight. It creeps in slowly. One missed meal of nutrients, one sedentary day, one ignored signal from your body at a time. But here's what the science makes beautifully clear. You are not powerless against it. Your body is equipped with 5 remarkable defense systems: angiogenesis, regeneration, the microbiome, DNA protection, and immunity, and each one of them can be turned on through food. When they work in harmony, your body doesn't just resist disease, it builds muscle, burns fat, and thrives at any age. Let's imagine your body as a living ecosystem. Every cell, every vessel, every muscle fiber is communicating, adapting, learning. When you eat the right foods, foods rich in bioactive compounds, antioxidants, and healthy fats, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're feeding an entire communication network. Green tea, berries, tomatoes, cruciferous vegetables, olive oil. These are not just foods, they're molecular messages. They tell your cells, grow stronger, repair faster, protect longer. That's what true nutrition does. It educates your biology. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about restriction or deprivation. It's about empowerment. You're not chasing youth. You're reactivating it. Science now shows that even in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you can regenerate muscle tissue, restore mitochondrial function, and increase strength through targeted nutrition. Your stem cells don't retire. Your blood vessels don't forget how to grow. Your DNA doesn't lose its wisdom. They're all waiting for your permission, and that permission comes through what you put on your plate. And this is where mindset becomes medicine, because when you understand that every food choice is an act of healing, eating stops being a chore. It becomes a form of self-respect. You're no longer eating to survive, you're eating to thrive. You're not surrendering to time, you're partnering with biology. Every meal becomes an opportunity to build the future version of yourself. Stronger, sharper, and more resilient than before. So forget the myths, forget the shortcuts, forget bone broth. The real miracle isn't in a bowl or a supplement, it's in your biology. It's in the power of your body to regenerate when you feed it right. Muscle is not lost with age, it's lost with neglect. But when you fuel your body with intention, it responds with strength, vitality, and renewal. Because aging isn't the end of growth. It's the beginning of a smarter, stronger, more powerful you.